Okay. Okay. I have a feeling this might still fall over. Hopefully it doesn't. Yo, what's up, guys? Terrell here from Terrell Games Vlog to talk to you about Garu Season 2, Episode 12. I never made the video I wanted to make, so I'll go ahead and talk about it here. The interesting thing about this episode and next week's episode is that no one knows what's going to happen. It's kind of the fun thing where the light novel readers and the anime watchers are literally on the same page. And you're probably wondering, well, why is that? Well, in Japan, currently, the latest volume that's out is Volume 10. Well, Volume 10 material was over last week, meaning these two episodes, and from what I heard, the actual author's Twitter went ahead and just kind of admitted it. These two episodes are from Volume 11, which doesn't come out, I don't think, until like the next, I think it comes out on the 24th of this month. So pretty much, the Volume 11 will be out by the time the last episode hits, but it probably won't be translated into English. So even the English-speaking fans won't know what the hell is going on for a minute. Because it's a light novel. It's like they have to translate that into English, and that's what most people have been reading is the English translation. So for right now, no one knew how this episode was going to go and what this episode was going to lead into. So talking about this episode will be interesting because there won't be any other pretext behind the previous light novels because we don't have the light novel version of this. Even though you can kind of tell, I've noticed that there were probably more scenes in the light novel version of this episode that they took out. The scene I'm primarily probably talking about are any Kawasaki scenes and probably any Totsuka scenes. Why do I say that? Well, why the hell is Totsuka in this episode for literally a scene to try food and then is completely ignored again? Which makes me feel like he either had a moment with Kawasaki, because to me that's the shipping I'm going with for those two. I feel like the way this episode played out, and then from what I've heard that he's getting close to ending up the light novel, this episode really brings home the fact that they're getting close to ending it, because they were already Miura was mentioning shit about how entrance exams are next year, aka meaning this is their last year of high school. Hirotsuka Sensei's speech at the end saying, "I can't always watch over you," aka the school year, they're about to graduate. And everyone knows that when it comes to high school anime, usually when they graduate high school is when the anime ends. That's exactly where this is going. And it's SNAFU, so they would approach this the way you would think they're going to approach this. And also just with the subtext of this episode, which is essentially at least Yui and Hachiman. I don't know so much about Yuki Noshita, but I know at least Yui and Hachiman realizing that what they're currently going through isn't a trust issue. It's a romance issue. And they're both, and you have two characters who are aware of it. Yuki Noshita, I'm not sure, is aware of it yet. I think Yuki Noshita is still coming into her own feelings, to be perfectly honest with you. Yui and Hachiman, I know Hachiman by the end of it recognizes it. Yui, I think, is known since the fucking infirmary stuff from the last volume, which aka an episode ago. I think because Yui's had a crush on Hachiman since probably the beginning of the damn anime. Like, from like, probably episode 4 or 5. Yeah, pretty much after 4 or 5, you could tell she had a crush on him. And some people would say it was probably as early as episode 2 or 3, which it probably was in retrospect. But like, it became like you could tell it was a legit crush by episode like 4 or 5. So Yui has always liked him. And there was a line that Aroha says at the beginning of this episode about, "Oh, that sounds just like you." Pretty much outlining the problem with Yui's crush is that Yui's crush has existed and is legit. The problem is that I feel that people, and I think it's become really obvious here, she's intentionally not going any further in her advances now that she knows Yuki Noshita's like into him, and because she doesn't want to be that person. She doesn't want to be the wedge that fucks up the group, but you know that's what she essentially, because she knows, because we all know when it comes to romance and anime, usually when you're in a group of 3 and it's a love triangle, whichever girl you pick will fuck up the dynamic for the other girl. Because the other girl's not going to kind of want to be in that shit. The problem is Hachiman wasn't either. Granted, the anime makes it seem like he wasn't even paying attention to romance to that extent. I mean, yeah, he's had moments where he's blushed and shit, but I don't think he was. I don't think he ever, like, from what I understand, the light novel, it's more apparent that he seems to have an indirect crush on Yuki Noshita without realizing it himself, versus the anime that just makes him seem like he's indifferent crush-wise. But this episode really, because Harno mentions, it's like, listen, there's something scarier than truth, or something more sinister than truth, and what is that? Love. So I'm pretty sure it's this. It pisses me off because it's like, this is episode 12 and episode 13. You're not gonna cover. Volume 11 is not the last volume, guys. So it's like, you're not gonna cover Yui's whole issue. Because I'm pretty sure Yui's issue is going to be the whole thing over the entire damn light novel volume, and I know they're not going to cover the volume in 2 damn episodes. Then again, people have said volume 10 was done in 2 episodes, I think. So you could. I don't think they're going to. And really, the ending you would get out of that, knowing that the subtext is literally Yui realizing the crush and trying to back off because she's gonna do a Hikigaya without really thinking about it. She's going to sacrifice herself for the sake of Yukinoshita and Hachiman. The problem is, and you're the one who ends up being hurt in the end. But if you notice at the ending of the episode, it's a ballad sung specifically by Yui's voice actress, and then Yui of all people has a fucking monologue, and the monologue is pretty much saying like, I have something that I want, but it contradicts the kind of person I am. But they're so similar, but yet so different. Meaning, which is referencing the fact that she's in love with Hachiman. It's like, because what she wants, what people think she wants, and what she actually wants, what people expect and what she wants is completely different. Or like similar but different. The similar part being that she does want to be with Yukinoshita and Hachiman. The difference is that she wants to date Hachiman while being together. And with this type of show, that's not going to work. It unfortunately brings us to the part of the light novel that we all knew was coming. Because if you were someone like me who was super into, and I'm not saying I'm not into Yukinoshita, but let's be perfectly honest, they have pushed Yui so goddamn much indirectly or directly that it's kind of like you can't not like her. Even if you prefer Yukinoshita, you can't not like Yui. It's like fucking impossible for me. And I knew this was coming, and this is literally, and you can tell that's what this arc is going to end with, is them coming to the realization of, yeah, and I think and that's what it's going to be like, yeah, this will be the arc that just definitely just shows that that's going to be a Hikigaya Yukinoshita thing. Because think about it, if volume 11 is Yui, that means the last volume is probably going to, and I'm not saying volume 12 is the last volume, but I'm pretty sure the last volume will be Yukinoshita on the cover. AKA, it'll be the volume in which Yukinoshita comes into her feelings, and Hachiman comes into his feelings, and they get together. But a lot of people are thinking this is just going to have a bad ending. Because the whole premise of the series is how this isn't a stereotypical rom-com. Well, a stereotypical rom-com would go that route. But I can't see them going any other direction. I mean, SNAFU has been traditional in some senses. It just hasn't been traditional in all senses. I mean, even having multiple girls have a thing for him. It's like, Orimoto says she's going to give him chocolates. The other girls get jealous. Iroha obviously has a crush. Kawasaki obviously using the crush thing. Not in the anime, but in the light novels. Obviously the crush thing. It's like, you're going to... You pandered a little. You haven't pandered as much as other shows, but you pandered a little. So you know that's where it's going. It's going to go to that point. Because either it's going to end one or two ways, with none of the characters being together, or two of the characters being together and the third one getting left out. The traditional answer is the second one. The first answer would just fucking make me sad, because I feel like even unless they just did the thing where, see, there's no way this will end good. And that's one of the reasons why I hate watching these shows. But I'll say this, I have way more investment into this than I did Toradora. Toradora, literally, to me, I was done. Toradora was just not... I know people like Toradora. I don't care for Toradora. I feel like that relationship was super one-sided, and that's what pisses me off about that relationship. I'm not going to spoil it for those who don't know, but I do not like that relationship at all. I feel like the anime was super biased towards Taiga, and the other characters got shafted. Monami didn't even feel like a fucking character. It's probably not her name. It's Minarin. Yeah, Minarin probably didn't even feel like a proper fleshed out character in some instances. Whatever. And her crush just seemed all out. Fuck it. I'm not gonna get into that. My point is, this is obviously the arc in which a true decision in terms of their romantic feelings will be made. Yuki Noshita, I'm banking, might come into her feelings by the end of this. Maybe. That would be a good way to end it, you know, having Yui and Hachiman get back on good terms. Because their bad terms isn't even out of lack of trying. It's her not realizing, it's her realizing the other's crush and trying to be way too sensitive to it. She's trying to, like, approach this fairly. Even though, let's be perfectly honest, it's kind of late for that. Yui has been kind of bad with that for a while now. I'm sorry I'm not talking about the episode specifically, and it's primarily because this episode brings up so many other questions. It's like, cause you can't, when you fully put romance at the forefront, which is essentially what they've done, and then the thing with her mother, which I've kind of read the comments and understood a little bit better. Essentially, it's, remember back with the whole, what choice is Yuki Noshita gonna take in terms of the class she's gonna take? And then she says her class, and it's like, so we'll all be together. I think that's what it is. She took that class specifically for them to be together and not because she wanted to. Or maybe it was a little bit of both. I'm not totally sure. But I know at least one of the reasons was because she wanted to still be together with Hachiman and Yui. And that, I think, Haruno found out somehow. I don't know how she found out because we see in the scene in this episode, Hachiman didn't tell us. So I don't know how the hell she found out. Hayama probably told her, actually. Because Hayama's a dick like that. Actually, that would make a lot of sense. Hayama probably told her. It wouldn't surprise me if Hayama told her. It does bring up the question how Hayama would know, but that's the only thing that would make sense to me. So Hayama probably told her. She probably told her mother, like an asshole. And I don't know what the point of that is. You can tell the reason, because, you know, when she busts them out in the end when he's trying the chocolate from Yuki Noshita and Yui, you can tell that was intentionally to get them to realize that, yo, this ain't friendship, this isn't genuine, this is just love. You're caught in a love triangle. That is the harsh reality of what she was trying to say there. But her telling their mother about Yuki Noshita's plans, I don't know what that's supposed to be, because it's not like Hachiman and Yui aren't aware of it. Whether Yuki, and I don't understand telling her mother doesn't help anything. I mean, we know what it leads to based on the next episode's synopsis, which for those who don't know, the synopsis for the next week's episode is that Haruno comes to stay with Yuki Noshita. AKA meaning her mother doesn't trust her, so we need to have Big Sister watch over you. Which is really bad considering they don't get along, and it's partially because Haruno, even with her good intentions, is doing this in the tough love sense, which makes her existence around her sister so fucking hard to watch. Like, even when I understand Haruno's intentions, that doesn't mean I like the way she goes about it. I understand why she does it. I understand her reasoning. She's just not enjoyable to watch. Because every time she comes to a scene, she's never a fun character to me. She's always a character that causes a lot of fun. The only time she's fun is when she's just talking to one of the characters. Primarily Hachiman. If she's ever interacting with Yui or Yuki Noshita, it's always like a really tense struggle of a scene. And you're like, I don't even want to fucking look at this. I don't understand how that's going to lead into a confirmation with Yui. Because Yui's going to have to make a fucking decision. If she wants to be the martyr, or if she wants to fight for it. That's her current issue. Is that Yui needs to make a decision. And right now it looks like she's going the martyr route. And listen, I don't mind. Look, it's going to hurt me. It's going to hurt me regardless of what decision they go with. If they go with them all going their separate ways, if him picking Yuki Noshita or him picking Yui, the point is, I'm going to be hurt no matter which way, because I like all three of the fucking characters. But if Yui is going to lose, I'd rather her lose fighting than lose fucking being a martyr. That shit's not appealing at all to me. Like, and I really hope we at least get that much, because in most of these animes, it always turns into the other fucking thing, where you have a triangle, and the third character of the triangle, who's been the one who's been crushing the longest, for some stupid ass reason doesn't say anything, or just does a really bullshit confession way too damn late after he's already realized his feelings and shit. I don't want Yui to go out like that, personally. If Yui's gonna go out, let her go out like a different way. You say this is a different show than a stereotypical rom-com, Do not let her go the martyr route. That is the most unappealing route for me. It always makes me mad because I'm like, and especially with her, where it's like, oh, she's being, because right now she's being pretty selfless. She's trying to like, I don't know if she's intentionally just giving up or if it's just simply, I'm not going to take advantage of every situation I have now. Because it's obvious that she still likes him, and but I don't know where her mind is at, if she's in like this full, I give up on Hickey mode, or if it's like, I'm just not going to be as aggressive as I was before about it. Either way, I don't want her to go out like that, man. Because we all know how this is probably going to end, but for the love of God, do not let her go out like that. If Yui's going to lose, which is the highest probability thing here, I do not want her to lose like every other character loses. I want her to lose in the most spectacular fashion she can possibly lose, so I can still like it. Because I never like when I see a character I like losing. I'm always the guy who ends up liking the characters who always lose. But then again, people were saying this is a different type of rom-com. It wouldn't shock me if he did go with Yui and left Yukinoshita, but then I would feel bad for Yukinoshita, because Yukinoshita needs that connection bad. If you left Yukinoshita alone, and even though Hirotsuka Sensei said some shit about, oh, well, they probably would have changed, you guys are probably changing your own by yourselves in time anyway for future relationships. But, and then she goes, but I'd rather it be you and Yui the ones who help her. Well, I would rather, oh man. This episode got way too heavy for what I wanted to deal with. Man, I wasn't ready for this shit. I wasn't ready at all, man. I wasn't ready at all. Damn. Anyways, the chocolate stuff was cute. Kawasaki scenes, yay. Some cute moments for Yui and Yukinoshita, but I couldn't even enjoy Yui scenes because Yui scenes are filled with those secondary moments where she twinges or jerks or does the, oh, it sounds just, like Yui's is filled with all, like almost every Yui scene in this episode is filled with a subtext of her realizing the truth and her just kind of reflecting in mid-sentence. So like I can't even enjoy the Yui scenes. It's literally the reverse of what every other Yukinoshita scene used to be. Where Yui and Hachimai would have these cute scenes and Yukinoshita would be kind of in the back with this twinge. And that's the thing. Yukinoshita knows. Yukinoshita knows that Yui likes him. But I don't think she's aware that she likes him. Oh, man. This isn't going to end well regardless, but I want it to be at least an ending that sucks that I can at least still enjoy to an extent, but I don't know. We have a while before that, but let's just see how the next episode goes. The way next episode ends will probably give me a better idea of how this is going to go. God, and this is the 12th episode, guys. Don't do a Haganai. A lot of people are saying that. Don't do a Haganai. Don't do a Haganai, please. Because if you do a Haganai, I'm going to be so fucking mad. Haganai did not go well in the light novels after that point in the anime, by the way. For those who are curious, Haganai did not get better. Haganai potentially was going to get better and then ended up falling again. So I gave him a Haganai, but oh my god. But please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. This has been the Insane Game Freak, Terrell Game Vlogs. Vlogs again for your boy Terrell, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.